word to wise. Grass only greener when it's fertilized. Gave them truth in these songs, they prefer to lies. Destiny beautiful, adrift in her purple lies. You can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy.
What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It is your boy Ernie, the Blerd Without Fear. Welcome back to the channel. Alright, so today's video, we're going to be talking about One World Under Doom number 6. This is the first issue I think I've talked about with One World Under Doom in a while. Not because, I haven't been enjoying it, but just because, I don't know, man. Just there's a lot going on with that book. There's a great deal of shit going on with that book. It's not all bad. It's actually pretty good. I don't really care for the tie-ins quite as much, but I kind of feel that way about a lot of crossover events. But I definitely have been enjoying the core issues. That said, we've gotten to this point where, in this issue, I feel like is going to kind of trick you a little bit, because when we got to the end of the previous issue with Dr. Doom having faced off with Dormammu and the whole situation where he eventually wound up having to rely on the power of Earth's mightiest heroes, the Avengers, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, so on and so forth. And while all that came to a head and all that was taken care of, in the midst of Dr. Doom kind of being off and doing his own thing, running the world as he sees fit, in the wake of Dormammu's defeat, one thing that came up was the return of Maria Hill. And Maria Hill had revealed that she had some insight into how Dr. Doom was getting away with what he's been getting away with. That's kind of been the thing that's been popping up left and right, that other characters even have kind of hinted at and poked at times, is that, wait a minute, something's not right. Even Dormammu seemed to know that something was kind of off about how Doom was doing what he was doing. How is it that he has all this power? And it even kind of made it interesting in the sense that you started to question, well, shit, if Dr. Doom has been Sorcerer Supreme for less than 6 months, and he has already been laying the smackdown on every problem that humanity has, why couldn't Doctor Strange do it and he's been Sorcerer Supreme? Granted, when I say, like, when I'm talking about time, I know I'm gonna say, like, since this, 60s, 70s, whatever, but I mean, Marvel operates on a sliding time scale, so it's probably not been more than a decade, maybe 2 decades, give or take, something like that, whatever. But Doctor Strange has been Sorcerer Supreme on the regular. He wasn't able to do any of this. You now get the answer to why Dr. Doom was able to do what he has done. It was hinted at and even kind of expressly stated earlier in the series that the reason why Dr. Doom was able to convince all of the world leaders to go all in on his plan was not because he manipulated them. It wasn't because he used sorcery to bend their minds to his will. It's because he basically created, with incredible power that he should not have been able to do, he was able to split himself into multiple different places and do things over a near infinite amount of time to basically convince these people of what needed to be done. That's wild. But how do you get that kind of power? Well, when we get from the previous issue of 5 and we jump over to here, and once again, there was probably something that happened in the tie-in. I'm not messing with those tie-ins. Look, just keeping it a buck with you. There's nothing in those tie-ins. Not many of them. Just read the books you're already reading. I will say, the thing that they kind of do is they jump from the Maria Hill stuff over to Reed Richards having a sit-down talk, a debate actually, with Dr. Doom. And it's an interesting one because, as a guy who is pretty politically activated and I watch a lot of debates, I don't really do the whole debate bro thing. The people who, like, all they do is debate, I don't really care about that. But I do watch a lot of debates. I watch a lot of people who are political commentators, and a lot of times when people who are from opposing sides step into the arena and have it out in the bullpen, I love kind of watching that because it teaches you a lot. You actually learn a great deal about people that way. But in this particular instance, we're getting that, but it's Dr. Doom and it's Fantastic Four's and Reed Richards. So in that case, they are debating. They're debating the issues. Why what Doom is doing is wrong, and more importantly, Dr. Doom, if what he is doing is so wrong, but he's doing so many things right, why didn't the other heroes do it before? There's some really interesting things that are said, and there's some shots that are going to be fired at some of your favorites in this issue in regards to the characters who had the power to make change, but did not do so. And I'll also say in the same breath that while those same people get a pretty finger pointed at them in regards to what they didn't do, we can also talk about maybe why they didn't do it. Case in point, characters like Iron Man, He could have ended the energy crisis in the world with just one arc reactor. However, he chooses to use it to fight crime and against billionaires and cosmic entities and other whack shenanigans and whatnot. Characters like Reed Richards could have literally invented things that could change the way the world does everything. But instead, he chooses to keep his inventions locked away behind closed doors and only allowed to his family. And then you also look at people like Hank Pym, who had the power that, and I love the instance they showed that he could have literally used Pym particles to make every animal like significantly larger and feed entire countries with one chicken. I love that. That was some petty shit. But he was like, nah, he used it just to make himself big. That's what he does. And also, there's a shot that's fired at our favorite, Storm, that she could use her powers to make droughts and natural disasters and things of that nature a thing of history. And yet, she used her power to terraform a planet that was only meant for mutants. Which, I mean, some people are going to be mad about that. Oh, man, you can't say that about Storm. But I mean, he's not wrong, and a lot of other mutants did it too. There's a finger pointed, but there's a reason why these characters are not doing the things that people might think they should have been doing, and what Doom thinks they probably should have been doing, and it's because Doom's power comes from his people. Doom is Sorcerer Supreme. He's powerful. He was actually already a powerful sorcerer before he became Sorcerer Supreme. But being the Sorcerer Supreme gives him access to more power, more ability, knowledge that he would not have had prior. And even though he has that, it's still not enough, because that's just how fucked the world actually is in the Marvel Comics universe. And to be fair, a lot of those problems are things we have IRL, but they also have supervillains, so it makes it worse. We technically have supervillains too, we just don't have any superheroes, so technically our universe is more fucked than theirs is. But that's another story altogether. We live in a world full of Lex Luthors and Kingpins and Justin Hammers, but we have no Supermen or Daredevils or Spider-Men to fight back against. It's crazy that's a thing. The real issue here is that, yeah, it takes a lot of power to change all that. So Doom had to do something unspeakable, unfathomable. And honestly, without the combined might of Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, the most powerful woman on the planet, as well as Scarlet Witch, one of the most powerful sorceresses in all of Marvel Comics, and Black Widow, the probably most dirtness motherfucker in the history of spycraft in the Marvel Universe, all under the direction of Maria Hill breaking into Latveria and finding out that Doom has a secret base that is not meant to keep people out, but to keep people in, and he's using that base to store his own people. And not just adults, children. He is holding them in stasis and basically siphoning their life force in order to be as powerful as he is. This is why Doom has been able to get away with so much shit. And I'm not gonna lie to you, as a guy who is a huge fan of Dr. Doom, and I know that a lot of people like to think that, oh, Dr. Doom, he's not really a bad guy. Just because he's a bad guy doesn't make him a bad guy, am I right? Like, don't get me wrong, I like that energy. However, we have to admit something here. Dr. Doom, at this point, this is a watershed moment for people in terms of Dr. Doom. He's not beating the charges on this one. He literally had children. Like, okay, yeah, adults, men and women, whatever, that's debatable.
What?
But you had children, my G. You got children under lock and key, and you were siphoning their life force to empower yourself to make the world a better place. Now, at the end of the day, you've made the world a better place, but look at the cost. And I know I joked about this, when the book first came out, but I mean, once again, these are jokes. And also taking place in a fictitious era. We're not talking about this shit actually happening IRL. There were some people who got really angry at me for, saying some of the things I said. But let's be real. Fictional characters, okay?
Fictional characters. Fictional characters.
The point is, you cannot look me in the eye and say, okay, well, we have universal health care, we have universal basic income, world hunger, food insecurity, housing crisis, health crisis, all that stuff, education, all that stuff has been fixed. But at what cost? At what point do you have to look in the mirror and say that terrible things had to happen in order for us to get this stuff? You can't do that. You can't get away with it. Not only that, I'm a little mad with Dr. Doom. Not necessarily just because of the using men, women, and children to enhance his power, but also the fact that, man, he made me have to side with Reed Richards. Isn't this about a bitch? Like, dude, what are we doing here? Like, you're making me have to side with one of the worst people in all of Marvel Comics. You're making me side with a guy who thought that the best way to save his wife from being Malice was to slap the feminism out of her. The guy who used to think it was perfectly fine and normal to slap the shit out of Franklin Richards. The guy who actually thought it was a wise decision to unilaterally make the decision to depower his own child. Not once, twice. Maybe even 3 times. There might be a 3rd time that I'm not remembering. I don't know, man. You guys tell me, because I'm sorry, I got nothing. You guys are making me side with Reed. Reed, I ain't shit Richards. You're making me side with him. I hate you, Dr. Doom. I will forever hate you. Nah, you're good. I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. See, that's what the power of siphoning the life force of men, women, and children can do. It can just make you just so agreeable. So agreeable. Like, it's gonna be one of those situations. It's gonna be like a Joey Swole. I'm gonna just be like, man, you know what? Actually, yeah, Dr. Doom did that, but yeah, he was locking up men, women, and children and siphoning their life force, but he was nice to me. Anyway, do with that information what you will.